Hey everybody, this is Lee. Welcome to My Dang Finance. And in this video, I want to discuss how to find companies and stocks to invest in. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I get a lot of questions from families and friends asking me, how do you find stocks to invest in? And this video is part 3 of a 3-part series on how to invest in the market. So if you haven't checked out the first 2 videos, you could check those out. I put the links down in the description below. And so let's get started. So how do you find companies? Well, if you're new to the market, the first thing you could kind of do is look at what products you have, what stuff that you buy. For instance, like what laptops do you use, or do you use a MacBook? What kind of phones do you have? A lot of people have smartphones. If you have like an iPhone, and both of those products are made by Apple. So from there, you can kind of see that, hey, okay, Apple makes laptops and iPads and iPhones and stuff like that. So let's look into that company. And then from there, you could look at other stuff that you might have around the house. For instance, what kind of car do you drive? Maybe the company that makes those cars sell shares on the market. What other stuff that you buy to eat, if you buy a lot of frozen foods, maybe what companies making those, maybe soda companies as well. If you buy a lot of sodas, who makes those? Coca-Cola. They sell shares on the market, and you kind of start looking into those companies. So the next thing to do is when you go shopping as well, be aware of what you're buying. You can look around and see what products are out there, and then from there you can kind of look in the back of the box and kind of see who makes those. For instance, let's say you buy makeup, and so if you go, what stores do you go to? Do you buy makeup from Ulta or Sephora, or maybe Elf products, or any other ones? So from there you can kind of look at those and take a look at, write those down, make a list and stuff like that, and then learn from there. You can kind of start looking into those companies and see if they're publicly traded. And another way of actually looking for companies to invest in and in stocks is when you're looking for whatever company that you're looking into, check out what are their competitors, like who are their competitors, and then you could expand your watch list and look into those companies. And also when it comes to products and stuff like that, you might, if you look at, let's say an iPhone, right? Well, there's a lot of components that makes up the iPhone. So like what kind of chips are in the iPhones that make it run? There are other chips in there that are made by other companies, like Skyworks Solutions have chips in iPhones and stuff like that, and other probably companies that have chips and components in there. You can kind of look into that too. So, and when it comes to looking into the companies and stuff like that, I would recommend looking into, like, researching the company itself. You could look at their public relations page, and they have their 10Ks and 10Qs and stuff like that. You kind of go through their finance on Yahoo Finance, and kind of look at their balance sheets and stuff like that. And another thing, what I like to do is look at interviews of the CEO of those companies. I like to take a look at them because I want to kind of get an idea of how the CEO acts and stuff like that, and kind of get an idea of how they run the company based off their personality and stuff like that. And so that's one thing I like to do, because I want to be able to understand, like, the CEO itself, and see how are they. For instance, let's see, Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk as a CEO, he's on the news all the time. You can kind of look at the interviews, kind of get an idea of how he is, and from there you can kind of tell how he would run his companies. As Elon Musk itself, he's able to, based off of the interviews that I've seen, you could kind of tell that he's very outgoing. He has a vision, and he's able to raise capital whenever he wants, based off his personality and the way he does business. So that's one thing I'll look into, like those CEOs. Other companies would be like Carnival Cruise, where I used to invest in them. I would research and look at the CEO, Arnold Donald, I believe is his name, is the CEO, and I would watch interviews on him and see how he acts, how he responds, and stuff like that, and it kind of gives you an idea of who the CEO is and how they're running their companies and stuff like that. So hopefully this helps. This is part 3 of a 3-part series. So to recap, the first part, if you haven't watched it, is all about your mindset. You have to change your mindset and think like an investor and understand how CEOs would run the company. The second thing would be, the second part is to get your finance in order. The first thing you need to do would be to save an emergency fund, because you want to be able to have a cushion before you invest. You don't want to invest into stocks and then there's something happens, like a medical emergency or something like that, and then you don't have any money and you would have to sell your stocks at a loss and pretty much just to pay bills, and you don't want to be in that position. And the third thing would be how to look into companies, and that's what we went into today, and regarding looking into what you purchase and how you, and like what you buy, and look into those companies, make a list, and then learn from there. You could kind of, that's how you would get started, and then you could kind of expand and look at other companies by watching news and stuff like that people will mention, and you kind of look into those companies. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this kind of gives you an idea of how to start, how to kind of look into stocks and stuff like that. So, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave some comments below, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. If you guys like this video, hit a thumbs up and subscribe, and you guys take care.